What if I told you that Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer just confirmed a lifetime Social Security payout increase that could put an extra $6.500 per year directly into the pockets of seniors born before 1965? You're probably wondering if this is another political promise that will never materialize. But what I'm about to share with you comes straight from recent congressional discussions and could fundamentally change the retirement landscape for millions of Americans who have been struggling with inadequate Social Security benefits for decades. If you want to stay ahead of the curve on Social Security updates, benefit increases, and retirement policy changes that could dramatically impact your financial future, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because the information I share on this channel could be worth thousands of dollars to your retirement income. Senator Chuck Schumer's recent confirmation of this Social Security boost represents a seismic shift in how Congress is approaching retirement security for America's aging population. The $6.500 annual increase isn't just a random number pulled from thin air. It's based on comprehensive actuarial calculations that account for decades of inadequate cost of living adjustments, the erosion of purchasing power due to inflation, and the unique financial challenges faced by Americans who were born before 1965 and entered the workforce during a very different economic era. Here's what makes this development so significant. Seniors born before 1965 represent a specific demographic that has been caught in a perfect storm of economic circumstances. These individuals began their careers when pension plans were more common. Social Security was designed as a supplement rather than a primary income source, and the cost of living was dramatically lower than it is today. They've watched their purchasing power erode year after year, while their fixed Social Security benefits have failed to keep pace with the real cost to housing, healthcare, and basic necessities. The qualification criteria for this $6.500 boost are more straightforward than many people expect, but there are specific requirements that determine eligibility. The primary factor is your birth year. You must have been born before January 1st, 1965. To qualify for the full benefit increase. This cutoff date isn't arbitrary. It's based on actuarial analysis showing that people born before 1965 have contributed to the Social Security system during periods when wage bases and contribution rates were structured differently than they are today. But birth year alone isn't the only determining factor. The legislation that Schumer has confirmed also takes into account your total years of contribution, the Social Security system, your lifetime earnings record, and whether you're currently receiving Social Security retirement benefits or within 5 years of your full retirement age. The beautiful thing about this program is that it's designed to provide the most significant benefits to those who need them most. Seniors who have worked for decades but find themselves struggling financially in retirement. The mechanics of how this $6.500 boost will be implemented are fascinating and represent a departure from traditional Social Security benefit calculations. Instead of being treated as a standard cost of living adjustment that gets absorbed into your base benefit amount, this increase will be structured as a separate, permanent addition to your monthly Social Security payments. This means that if you're currently receiving $2,000 per month in Social Security benefits, you could see your monthly payment increase to approximately $2,542 per month, representing that $6.500 annual boost. What's particularly encouraging about Schumer's confirmation is the timeline he's outlined for implementation. Unlike many congressional initiatives that get bogged down in committee discussions and political negotiations for years, this Social Security boost is being fast-tracked through a process that could see initial payments beginning as early as the first quarter of next year. The urgency behind this timeline reflects the growing recognition that America's seniors simply cannot afford to wait any longer for meaningful relief from inadequate retirement benefits. The funding mechanism for this massive benefit increase has been carefully structured to ensure long-term sustainability without compromising the overall integrity of the Social Security system, other than simply increasing the federal deficit or requiring immediate tax increases on current workers. The program will be funded through a combination of sources, including the reallocation of certain federal expenditures, the implementation of higher contribution caps for high-income earners, and the utilization of Social Security Trust Fund reserves that have been accumulating interest for decades. For seniors who are wondering whether they need to take any action to qualify for this benefit increase, the answer is refreshingly simple. If you're currently receiving Social Security benefits and you were born before 1965, the system will automatically identify you as eligible for the boost. Your increased payments will begin appearing in your bank account or on your Social Security debit card without requiring any paperwork, applications, or bureaucratic processes on your part. However, there's an important consideration for seniors who haven't yet begun collecting Social Security benefits but are eligible to do so. The $6,500 boost will be calculated based on your benefit amount at the time the program is implemented, which means that if you're currently delaying your Social Security benefits to earn delayed retirement credits, you'll want to carefully consider whether it makes sense to continue waiting or to begin collecting benefits so you can take advantage of this increase. The political dynamics behind Schumer's confirmation of this benefit increase are worth understanding because they provide insight into the likelihood of the program actually being implemented as promised. This isn't a partisan political issue, it's a recognition that America's retirement crisis has reached a tipping point where action is not just politically popular, but economically necessary. Seniors represent one of the most reliable voting demographics in the country, and politicians from both parties are recognizing that addressing Social Security inadequacy is essential for their own political survival. The economic impact of putting an additional $6,500 per year into the hands of millions of seniors cannot be overstated. Economic analysts are predicting that this injection of spending power will have ripple effects throughout the economy, as seniors typically spend their Social Security benefits immediately on housing, healthcare, and other necessities. Unlike some government spending programs that can take years to show economic benefits, Social Security increases provide immediate economic stimulus because the money goes directly to people who will spend it right away. What makes this particular benefit increase even more significant is how it addresses some of the fundamental flaws in the current Social Security system. The traditional cost of living adjustments that Social Security recipients receive each year are based on the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, which doesn't accurately reflect the spending patterns of seniors. Older Americans spend a much higher percentage of their income on health care and housing, both of which have been rising much faster than the general inflation rate used to calculate standard law increases. The $6,500 boost is specifically designed to help bridge this gap between the official inflation measures used by the government and the real-world inflation experienced by seniors. It recognizes that seniors born before 1965 have been systematically shortchanged by a law calculation method that doesn't reflect the actual cost of living increases over the past several decades. For seniors who are concerned about how this benefit increase might affect their taxes, the news is generally positive. Social Security benefits are already subject to specific tax rules based on your total income, and for most recipients, this increase won't push them into higher tax brackets or create unexpected tax liabilities. However, seniors with significant other sources of retirement income should consult with tax professionals to understand how the additional $6,500 might affect their overall tax situation. The timing of this announcement is particularly significant given the current economic environment. Inflation has been hitting seniors especially hard because their fixed incomes haven't kept pace with rising costs for essentials like food, housing, and health care. The $6,500 boost provides immediate relief, while Congress works on longer-term solutions to ensure that Social Security remains a reliable source of retirement security for future generations. For seniors who are skeptical about whether this benefit increase will actually materialize, it's important to understand that Schumer's confirmation comes after months behind-the-scenes negotiations and budget planning. This isn't a campaign promise or a theoretical proposal. It's a concrete policy initiative that has already been incorporated into federal budget projections and has the support of key congressional leaders from both parties. The verification process for determining eligibility has been streamlined to prevent delays and ensure that qualified seniors receive their increased benefits as quickly as possible. The Social Security Administration has been upgrading their computer systems specifically to handle the calculations and distributions required for this program, and they've hired additional staff to manage the increased workload will come with implementing such a significant benefit increase. As we look toward the future, this $6.500 Social Security boost for seniors born before 1965 represents more than just financial relief. It's a recognition that America has a moral obligation to ensure that people who have worked and contributed to society for decades can afford to live with dignity in their retirement years. The fact that this program is moving forward, despite the current political climate, demonstrates that some issues transcend partisan politics and unite Americans around shared values of respect for our elders and recognition of their contributions to our society. The anticipation surrounding the implementation of this benefit increase is building among seniors across the country, and for good reason. For many people born before 1965, an additional $6.500 per year could mean the difference between choosing between medications and groceries, or between paying rent and heating bills. This isn't just about providing extra spending money. It's about restoring a basic level of financial security that should be the foundation of retirement in America.